Hey, well, howdy, guys. Happy New Year to y'all, and hope you had a good one over the holidays. And I thought we'd do something a little bit different here. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you've been taking care of yourself. I'm trying. And so I thought we'd do something a little different today because it's been about a year since I started this little channel here. And for the new year, I thought we'd just check out a few of my Camco snare drums that I will proudly display for you, and you can enjoy this. We're going to try something a little different here. This one we're going to call "If You Could Only Have One," and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through each one of these snare drums, and I'm going to choose towards the end which one I would go happily down the street with. So remember, you can only take one. So you can chime in and say which one you would take. And we all have different opinions. But I will probably use the criteria of the most collectible, since I'm a collector. And that would be my criteria. Not so much playing, because I think Camco snare drums sound great, but they're not my favorite drum to play on. They're fine. Just that I would prefer probably a Radio King snare drum, or a Ludwig and Ludwig, or a solid maple snare drum of sorts, or Leedy. Leedy's a great one. So let's get started here. I've got 19 drums here, and where do we start? I guess what we'll start with is maybe this drum here. This is something I've had for quite a while. It's a 8x15 Camco Oak Lawn 16 lug. I've even got the original key in it, and it's all white marine pearl. It's just really beautiful, perfect condition almost. Got the heavy chrome over brass hoops. This looks like a pretty early one just by the reinforcing hoops. As you can see, I've got Ludwig script logo snares on it. I prefer those. Those are beautiful snares. And this drum is pretty rare. I mean, as far as 15-inch drums, I'm not really a 15-inch drum guy. I always feel like I got too much between my legs, and it's just a little too much boom. But I picked it up because it's clean and there's not many of them around. Probably one of my favorite drums here would be this LM402. This is a 70s 10 lug, and they call them 702s. And 10 lugs, chrome over brass, 6.5-inch snare drum. It's kind of rough. It's got some dings in it. I had to restore it. I think these are chrome over brass hoops too. It's an LA badge, and you notice the badge is on the back side, which is kind of cool. And it wasn't treated right over the years, but you know what? These are really hard drums to find. And when I came across it, I had to have it. So I've got the old Slingerland wires on it. I love these wires. These are some of the best wires you can get. And let me show you They have a name for that drum. I brought some catalogs out here too. I think this is where it shows that drum. This might be in LA, yeah, Los Angeles. And let me find that drum here. This is the only LA snare drum I have, actually. And wouldn't you know it, it doesn't show that snare drum in it. Huh. Or does it? Oh, here they are. 702M. There it is. The 701 is an 8-lug drum. And then you got the wooden drum, which is the 452. And so I guess this would be the highest model you could get at the time. So if you ever come by one of these drums, they made an 8-lug model too, 6.5s as well. These drums sound fantastic. I forgot who used them, maybe Jeff Porcaro, people like that. Keltner may have used them. And then I've got an old Camco catalog here, and I wanted to show you this previous drum that we were just looking at. It's called the Band Aristocrat. And there it is, right down here. That's a wood version. And they came, your choice of lacquers or pearls, $95 at the time. The Band Aristocrat. Cool drum, you know, for collecting. So if you come by one of those, grab it. Okay, so that's that drum. Here's a drum I've had for, geez, I mean, I don't know, 20 years maybe. This is an early Camco with the parallel mechanism and the 2 rods. Some of them have 1 rod. I prefer this one, and I like this throw off here, this semi keystone looking one. And 8 lugs. The gold sparkle's pretty faded on it, but that doesn't bother me. It's got the heavy chrome over brass hoops. It's a beautiful drum. I'm not really into tuxedo lug drums. I've got a few of them here, and the only reason I've got them is they're kind of early models. Yeah, I just wanted to stop that video there because I wasn't sure if I was picking up all that. I noticed there's like a glare from these lights I'm getting, but you take what you can get, right? I don't have a photo studio. I'm not a pro. Okay, let's stay with the tuxedo lug era. This drum here, you know, it's got the aqua satin flame there on it. It has not been restored yet. Heavy chrome over brass hoops. I wouldn't normally get these kind of drums, but once again, it has one of my favorite throw-offs. The I call them the semi keystone badge throw-offs, and you can see it's just manky. We like that term. And got the Camco hook head on it still. That'll probably remain. Looks like a Camco head on the top too. And the old snare wires, those are by Camco. I mean, it's a mess. It's dirty, filthy. But these earlier ones had the key holder and actually a tone control in them. You know, the old worm drive tone control. Whereas the newer ones had the, you know, beer tap throw off and an adjustable butt plate. This has the proper butt plate, in my opinion. And you know, this drum will clean up nice. As a matter of fact, we'll restore this here coming up soon. So keep on the keep with the channel. We'll get this one done. Now another one of these early Camcos. I restored this one not that long ago in one of my previous videos. This is that Peacock Sparkle. I know it looks like champagne, but it isn't. It's, well, you can look back at that video where I restored it and you'll see where it shows the blue and the green and pink sparkles in it. And it's a nice drum, and I kept the original Camco head on it because it's not a player, although it's an 8-lug drum. Let's see, does that have the tone control in it? You know, this one does not have the tone control in it, so this could be, I don't know, maybe a transition between the beer tap throw off and this. I'm not sure. But it does have the key holder and the heavy butt plate, which I love. Another drum this drum has been kicking around with me for 40 years. Yeah, about, well, not quite 40 years, something like that. I restored an 18-inch bass drum, you'll remember, not that long ago, and this snare drum is part of that set. The famous $50 drum set. If you look back at that video, you'll see that bass drum. I haven't showed the whole set. I'll show it someday. It's in rough shape. You know, the gray moire, as they call it, is scratched. Doesn't matter. There's some extra holes in the drum where someone has changed the throw-offs, I think a few times, but I've got the proper one on there. And you know, it's just it is what it is. Once again, got the heavy chrome over brass hoops, love those. It's got the Camco key in it, Ludwig script logo snare wires, love those. And this is kind of the rare throw off. It's got I don't know if you can see that, the screws in the mounting screws. There's 3 of them, one large nut in the middle, which is you know, really quite rare. So great sounding drum, just goes with the set, so I just like it. Plus gray moire is very rare. Here's that 3D moire that I restored this one not that long ago, not on the channel, but it's like really clean, really nice, and chrome over brass hoops, heavy, got all the heavy Chevy washers on it. I guess these are the original snare wires. Probably that 4-ply shell, not sure, but it's really immaculate. And for people who like the 3D moire or moire finish, this is to die for. It's really clean. So got that. While we're on that subject of 3D moire or moire, I've got this another one here. This drum has not been restored. It's filthy beyond belief. And if you guys want to see me restore that, I can do that on the channel. That's no problem. I think this will all come out this yellow. This drum could be pretty clean. 8 lug, 5x14. Got the key holder in it, and beautiful throw off. 2-hole throw off. Original snare wires, original head. Both heads on Camco on that top head. And the worm drive. Muffler, tone control. On with the this is a pretty rare finish. This is wasn't even in the catalogs. It's like a lavender moire. It's a French word, so however you want to say it. And I don't know if people know about these flat top handle, knob on the tone control, but this is a flat top, and has this is the 3-hole throw off in there. You can see, I hope you can see that in there inside. They go side by side rather than up and down. So this is probably the same year as that gray moire. Oak lawn, 5x14, chrome over brass hoops, heavy hoops. Just a really cool drum. A little bit cracked here and there, which is typical of these drums, but just really cool, and really happy to have it. Here's another one that's this is a aqua satin flame, or moire, I call it. Aristocrat, 5x14, 8 lug, heavy, chrome over brass hoops. Just gorgeous drum. And this one actually goes with a set. I got a 2012-14 set, and the set sounds amazing. And this snare drum actually sounds pretty darn good too. I really like it. I haven't had those drums set up in a while. That reminds me, I need to do that. It's got a few battle scars, but not too bad. Beautiful drum. Here's a sweetheart here. I was scrolling eBay, I don't know, 15 something years ago, and the set came up, $1,000, 2012-14 matching snare in this really rare finish, this purple moire or moire. Oh, pardon that interruption. Let's see, I guess there was too much on the SIM card. Let's get back to what we were talking about. We were talking about this purple moire or moire snare drum. It came up on eBay in 2012-14. I think it came out of Colorado at the time. It was about 15 to 18 years ago. There was some damage to the bottom of the bass drum, just on the finish. It's missing like a little piece. And but when it's set up under the lights, I was using this set on a lot of gigs. I have some fantastic pictures of this drum set in 2012-14. Really hard finish to find, and it's just a great drum. No holes in any of the drums, and I just really like it. let's work our way this way. This is probably one of my, well, let's see, I found this drum, let's say about a year ago, I believe. Yeah, something like about a year ago. And I found it locally here in Phoenix. And I had to buy the set, but I didn't want the set, so I took the snare drum. I know it's a crime, isn't it? But I don't collect bigger drums, and that's what they were, and I just didn't want them. So this drum had to come with Daddy home, and it's really mint. Mint, mint, mint. Silver sparkle, hardly any fading, if any at all. It's got the chrome over brass hoops, 8 turret lugs, vertical 2-screw throw off, works perfect. Man, this thing has been just stuffed in someone's closet, it looks like. It's just really clean. And just now it's part of my collection. Here's a drum that I have the entire set for. It's 18, 12, 14 by 14, and the matching snare drum. And this is the snare drum. It's got some fading, no holes. It's all there, really pretty clean. Just your stock aristocrat snare drum. Oh, this is an Eddie Knight School for Drummers drum. You'll find that here and there. In some of these Camco drums, Eddie Knight was a endorser for Camco, and he also had a drumming school somewhere back in the East Coast. And where is old Eddie? Eddie's here. Let's see. There's old Eddie, right there. Eddie Knight. Supposedly he was a really cool dude. I saw him with a picture of one of his sets, I guess, in his practice studio with 2 18-inch bass drums. And I think it was a 14 floor and a 12 up on top. Really cool. So that's part of the Eddie Knight history. Now this drum, let's start with this one here. Now that we're on the silver sparkle subject, this drum is, I guess, really pretty rare. They were only in maybe 1 or 2 catalogs. I don't have the catalog. Maybe it was just 1 catalog in the early 60s. 62, 3, 4, I don't know, somewhere in there. It's an Oaklawn drum, 3.5 by 14, 8 turret lugs, and you know, you got the beer tap throw off. Not my favorite throw off, but it is on the drum, and that's what I will stick with. And it's got the adjustable butt. Actually, it sounds pretty damn good. This drum was in a drum shop, and I will not mention the name of it to protect the guilty. And I walked in the back room. I knew the guys who had the drum shop, and this thing was all apart on the bench. And I innocently said, what are you doing with this drum? Oh, we're restoring it. I said, well, what would you want for it the way it is? And we came up with a price. It might have been a trade, or I can't remember what it was. It wasn't too bad. Camco wasn't really on fire at the time. And the main reason I wanted to get away from these guys, because they were fine guys and everything, but they tended to just take drums apart and, you know, just put them back together using anything that they thought was going to be cool. and that meant drilling holes or changing history, and I'm deeply against that. So I was glad to get that away from them. All right. Now we've got this. This is another Eddie Knight drum, as you can see on the inside there. Eddie Knight School for Drummers. I've got the entire set. It's a champagne sparkle, 5x14, 8x12, 14x14 floor tom, and an 14x18 bass drum. The set is absolutely mint, mint, mint. And I got it from one of my buddies, Blair Holben, up in Grand Rapids, years ago. And Blair, if you're watching, thank you, friend. And yes, I've still got it. Love this drum. Love the whole set. And here's probably, I don't know, my favorite finish. This is Burgundy Sparkle, the Nick Ceroli finish. If you don't know who Nick Ceroli was, he was a great drummer. He played with Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, but he also played with Ray Anthony before that, and he was a great big band player, great small band player, but his big band playing was just over the top. It was just phenomenal. Just check out any of the Bob Florence big band recordings of the early 80s. One called Soaring, which is absolutely fantastic. Really intricate charts, and he was a hell of a reader. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this drum other than the finish. This wasn't Nick's set. I got this drum set from a guy named Stephen Joseph. I believe he was out of the, I don't know, I think he was up in Michigan or Minnesota. And he was looking for a Peacock Sparkle Gretsch drum set. And I happen to know where one was. And I brokered the deal and got the drum set for him. It was just a 2013-16 Peacock Sparkle, which is a pretty rare finish. It was about 1957, round badge Gretsch. And I sent him to him, and he says, well, what do you want? He offered me a large sum of money or this drum set, which was a 2012-14 Nick Ceroli model with the matching snare, or I could have a black LA 18, 12, 14 matching snare LA set. And you know, it was a tough call, but I probably should have bought the 18-inch set too, but hopefully that went to a good home. I chose for this. For this, I didn't want the money. I wanted the drum set, and I'm glad I did. Love this set. This is an interesting drum. It's a 6.5 by 14, and we don't know what era it is. I would probably venture to say it was either Oaklawn or Chanute. Oh well, we had a full SIM card again. Anyway, let's get through this. I have these sticks that a friend of mine here in Phoenix gave me. These Camco Astro 5As. I thought those were pretty cool. One shaped like a banana. It doesn't matter. No one's going to play on them. They're just part of Camco history. Getting back to this drum here. This drum is a mystery because it does not have a badge. Never had a badge. It was probably ordered without a badge. Some people wanted this kind of snare drum and didn't want to have a identification on it because they would mix it with their other drums. It's just a guess. I have no idea. But this badge has never been tampered with, so I just assumed that it just never had one. The inside has never been taken off. or there's no history of tampering. Okay, so it's an 8 lug, 6.5 by 14 Aristocrat. Has a key holder and a key and an Aristocrat butt plate. Let's see, tone control, yes. So it's a, it's probably Oaklawn by the looks of these reinforcing rings. Could be a 4-ply, not sure. Has one extra hole in it where they had a P85, but it's a fine drum, sounds fantastic, and I'm fortunate to have it because it's a 6.5 and very rare. This drum, you'll be familiar with it because with it being the anniversary of the Vintage Drum Restoration Garage, you'll remember this drum was the first restoration that I did here on this channel. And if you want to watch that restoration, just go back and you look quite a few videos ago and you'll find this restoration. I think it was a 2 or 3 part restoration. This thing was a mess. Look, it has the original Camco head on it, which I thought was pretty cool, and really nice drum. I think it had one extra hole right under the throw off. Not too bad though. But any 6.5 is going to be hard to find. Now this drum is really unique. 6.5 by 14, 8 lug, Super 99, super sensitive sort of throw off, where both sides come down, you can see, and they operate the snare by this rod here, just like the gold one there. Pretty rare drum, really. You don't ever see these come up. Most guys would not want a super throw off, but I don't care about that. I just like rarities, and black diamond original finish. It's really in quite nice shape too, and man, I paid a lot of money for this drum. So if you find one like this, or any 6.5, it's really worthy of spending a few extra bucks. Look, these drums aren't getting any, they're not making them anymore, and they're not going to be any more plentiful down the road. So I watch some of these drum forums, and they're kind of neat to look at once in a while, but I hear these guys talking about, well, that's not worth this, or that's not worth that, or that's not what they're going for. Look, the more these drums go up, the better off we all are going to be, because it's a great investment, and it keeps the the prices up, just like on an old Les Paul or a Selmer saxophone. It would be prudent to have it be worth a lot more later down the road. So I welcome the prices going up, and so I just think that that's okay. These drum forum guys, they tend to be, well, sorry to say it, but kind of cheap, and they won't pay the prices. Well, and then they complain later, well, that one went for all this money, what are they doing to the market? Well, it's called, it's one guy wants it more than the other guy, okay? And look, I'm just as guilty. I try to get things reasonable, but if I'm not going to get it reasonable, I got to reach down in the bottom of my pocket and grab it, okay? So that's what I do. So now this is going to be like jury duty, okay? I'm going to recess here. I'm going to go search deeply into my heart and find out which drums need to be eliminated first. That won't be hard. So stick with me. I'll be right back, and we'll start eliminating these drums. Remember, you can only take one with you, okay? Okay, first round of eliminations. coming at you. I think the first drums that I will eliminate are pretty simple. I think you'll all agree that these two tuxedo lug drums, even though they're nice, they're going to go first. So that's an easy call. These two, they're nice drums, but they're not they're not what I would take with me. And let's see, where's another one that I wouldn't take with me? Well, I don't need two silver sparkle ones, and this one goes with the set, so I'll have to leave that one out, even though it's more mint. The one goes with the set, and it has to remain with the set. So there, that's easy. And let's see. I don't need two 3D Morays, do I? Alright, so that's 4 drums out. We got 15 left. And I think that the next one, I think that I don't really think I'd take on my journey is this one here. It's a nice drum, but tuxedo lug drum is, of course, not my favorite. So that's going to have to go. Now we got 14 left. What's the next one? This 6.5 here will probably be my next one. It's a great drum, but it doesn't make the it doesn't make it into the final drums. Sorry, baby. I'd have to say the same thing with this one. I mean, remember my criteria is collectability, and this one's got a flaw or two in it, and so it's going to have to be eliminated. Oh, this is getting tough now. I don't know. I guess, believe it or not, most people think this 3D Moi or Moray is really a cool finish. I guess I'm not really one of them. I guess I'm all right with it, but it's not really my cup of tea. It's okay. I mean, I like it because it's collectible, but it doesn't really do it really that much for me. When you got this many snare drums, you can be picky. Okay, now this one's got a flaw, and it goes with a set, and I wouldn't want to split up the set because I can only take one drum, so I'd have to leave this one behind. Okay, I just came out of the deliberation room, and we've got 10 drums here, It's starting to get down to the wire here. Which one would you eliminate next? I think this is an easy one for me because you can only take one, and I'm not one for breaking up sets. So before I do that, I would eliminate this 15-inch drum. And since this drum goes with a set, I can't take it. Same with these two. This one here goes with a set too. Gotta leave that one with a set. Well, we got these 5 left. Which one would you take? Which one? Which one wouldn't you take? Well, I would have to say that I probably wouldn't take this one because it's not quite as collectible. Because of condition and a few different things. And this drum here, although very collectible, it's I guess we'll have to say goodbye to it too. Shame, isn't it? But that's how we play the game. We got 3 left here. Which one would you take? Which one? I mean, this drum here is a great drum and very collectible, but I guess I would have to eliminate this one. Now it comes down to the nitty-gritty here. The piccolo or the burgundy? I think that I'd have to go down the road with this one here. And that's what I would have to do. Yes, the old Nixeroli Burgundy Sparkle Camco Snare Drum. One thing I want to show you in this later Chanute, Kansas, Chanute, Kansas catalog, that they had the Burgundy Sparkle drum set, but they called it the Astro drum set rather than the Nixeroli model. And if you look back here where their endorsees were, they don't show Nick anywhere on there. Everyone else seems to be there, but no Nick. I guess they dropped him at that point. Oh, yeah, I know they got the burgundy sparkle, so I don't know. Well, guys, I hope I made the right choice, and I've only got one drum. We welcome your ideas for new ideas in the new year, and hope you chime in on which drum you would have taken. I thought it was kind of fun doing this one, and we'll have a restoration coming up for you real quick here, but I'm just kind of getting situated. I cleaned up the garage a little bit, moved some things around. It's been really hectic around here, and I just haven't really been working too much. So this is it for this edition of the Vintage Drum Restoration Garage. I want you to stick around. I want you to tell your buddies about it. Let's grow this channel this year. We've gotten 350 subscribers this year, and maybe we can get some more next year, or this 2023. That would be nice. And if you got any ideas or questions, let me know. And until then, you take care.